Stay with us, sir. We have more to talk about. Well, India's efforts to unite the world against terrorism are set to begin. The 7 delegations with 59 leaders who are members of parliament, former ministers and former diplomats will be travelling to 32 countries and the EU headquarters in Brussels to explain India's stand on terror. India has been piloting a UN resolution to define terrorism for years. This is the time to get it done. We here at NewsX are presenting the Anti-Terror Alliance Charter. Point number 1, the charter says that there must be a renewed united definition of terrorism incorporating the modern day forms and challenges posed today. Point number 2, the UN must pass a resolution defining terrorism with the former understanding. Point number 3, there must be a redefinition of state sponsorship of terrorism and the repercussions to countries doing this. Point number 4, organizations like FATF must enhance its responses against terror funding states. We will now examine these pointers one by one and bring in our guests and also get their opinion on this matter. Joining us on the show is Professor Madhav Nalapat, Editorial Director of the Sunday Guardian, Mr. Sumit Peer, Senior Political Commentator with us, and General Sudhakarji continues to grace us with his presence as well. Professor Nalapat, I'll begin with you. So, over the years, over the decades, the definition, like they say in Hindi, the paribhasha of terrorism has changed drastically. India, in its new doctrine, announced to the world that we cannot look at terrorism in silos. It is connected to states, it is connected to sponsors, like the Houthis and the Hezbollah is connected to Iran, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed are connected to Pakistan. They are connected with an umbilical cord. We need to consider this as one union, one unity. Do you think the track record that the United Nations has had when it comes to paying heed to these demands and these urgencies by India and the rest of the world, there will be a change, sir?
Well, Vineet, I'd like to say that it's a very, very laudable suggestion to have a charter for terrorism, and that's very, very important, because the reality is terror is a problem, a huge global problem. We don't know where terrorists are going to strike, how they're going to strike, and how many innocent lives are going to go as a result. There's no doubt about that, but I have my doubts about this getting passed. But the most important reason is the UN Security Council is today deadlocked. Russia and China on one side, the other 3 members on the other, among the permanent 5, and all 5 members have a veto. So essentially, I don't think that possibly Russia may abstain, but certainly not China. I don't think they're going to allow it to pass. But having said that, I think it's important to conscientize the world about terror, about terrorism, about, frankly, state-sponsored terrorism as a form of proxy war. I think that these members of Parliament who are going and others who are going there, a very distinguished delegation, and led by some very able people, I think they need to conscientize the world, and public opinion has to come on our side, on the side of the charter. If public opinion comes, I don't think the politicians can hold out for long, except, of course, in China and states like that. But in my view, it's going to be a struggle, but it's the struggle that's definitely important, and who knows, it might one day be achieved. We never thought, for example, in way back in 1857, that we would have, 1947 independence. It took a long time before that, but it happened. So my point is, we should definitely continue this effort, and we should conscientize the world. And in this context, I must say that the choice of delegates has been exceptionally good, and I think these delegates will need to be, frankly, having some a concrete point besides the problem of terror in India and state sponsorship, proxy sponsorship. And I think this charter would be a good thing to bring up, if not formally, at least in informal conversations, which are often as important or more important than formal conversations we need.
Let me also bring in Sumit Peer into this conversation. Sumit, important to understand that India, along with a number of other countries, has been